Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Easy English Learning, the channel where football meets language and where you never have to worry about missing a single word. I'm Lily.
And I'm James, and if you are watching this today, you already know that something absolutely massive is on the horizon. The FIFA World Cup 2026 is coming, and it is going to be unlike anything we have ever seen before.
That's right, James. For the very first time in history, the World Cup is expanding to 48 teams. 48! That means more countries, more drama, more goals, and more moments that will make you jump off your sofa and shout at the screen.
And today, right here, right now, we are going to break it all down for you. We are going to look at the strongest teams in the world. We will talk about their key players, their strengths, their weaknesses, and most importantly, who actually has the best chance of lifting that golden trophy in July 2026.
So whether you are a die-hard football fan, someone learning English through the beautiful game, or just someone who loves great sports conversation, you're in exactly the right place. Grab a seat, stay with us, and let's get into it.
Before we get into the teams, Lily, let's just take a moment to appreciate what the 2026 World Cup actually means. This tournament is being hosted across 3 countries, the United States, Canada, and Mexico. 3 nations, one incredible football party.
And it's not just the number of teams that changes things. With 48 teams in the competition, we get 104 matches total. That is a huge increase from the 64 matches we had in Qatar in 2022. More football, more chances for surprises, and more opportunities for smaller nations to cause upsets.
Which, honestly, is one of the most exciting parts of any World Cup. Remember Morocco in 2022? They went all the way to the semifinals. Nobody predicted that. And with more teams in this tournament, we could see even bigger shocks.
Absolutely. But of course, the big boys are still the big boys, and that is exactly what we're here to talk about. So, James, let's start the debate. Who are you putting at the very top of the list?
Oh, you already know my answer. France, without question.
France. Of course, every single tournament, it's France with you.
Because they keep delivering, Lily. They were finalists in 2022, champions in 2018. You cannot ignore that record.
Fair enough, but let's do this properly. Let's go through the top contenders one by one. Give every team their moment, starting, since you insist, with France.
Right, France. Let's talk about why this team is genuinely terrifying for every other nation on the planet. First, the talent. France has arguably the deepest squad of any country in world football. When your backup players could walk into most other international teams as starters, you know you are dealing with something special.
And at the center of all that talent, Kylian Mbappé. Now, by the time the 2026 World Cup arrives, Mbappé will be 27 years old. That is the perfect age for a forward. He will be in the absolute prime of his career. Fast, intelligent, technically brilliant, and with a hunger to win that first World Cup title as the main man.
He was the top scorer at the 2022 World Cup with 8 goals. 8 goals, including a hat-trick in the final, and France still lost on penalties. Can you imagine how motivated he will be going into 2026?
Extremely. But here's where I want to push back a little bit. France's biggest problem has never been individual talent. Their biggest problem is consistency. They sometimes struggle to find a rhythm as a team. They can look unstoppable against one opponent, and then flat and disconnected against another.
That's a fair criticism. The team balance has always been a talking point. Getting all that attacking talent to work together, to defend as a unit when it matters, that is the coaching challenge.
Exactly. And whoever's in charge of France going into 2026 will need to solve that puzzle, because the potential is absolutely there. But potential alone does not win World Cups.
True, but I still think France are the team everyone else has to beat. They are the gold standard right now.
Noted, and I partially agree. But let's move on, because the next team on our list has a very strong argument to make. Brazil, 5 World Cup titles, the most in history. A nation where football is not just a sport, it's a way of life, a language, a religion almost. And they've been waiting and working hard to add that 6th star to their famous yellow shirt.
Brazil's strength has always been built on flair, creativity, and individual brilliance. Their style of football, what people call jogo bonito, the beautiful game, has produced some of the greatest players who ever lived, and that tradition continues today.
Their current squad is full of dynamic attacking players. Vinicius Jr. at Real Madrid has developed into one of the most dangerous wide forwards in the world. Quick, direct, brilliant in one-on-one situations, and now adding goals to his game consistently.
And alongside him, they have depth in midfield and attack that is really exciting. The challenge for Brazil, and this has been their challenge for a while now, is the defensive structure and cohesion. In big knockout moments, they've sometimes been exposed.
Remember the 2022 quarterfinal against Croatia? Brazil were brilliant going forward. Neymar scored a stunning goal in extra time. And then Croatia equalized. Penalties. And Brazil went home.
Heartbreaking. For Brazilian fans, that was devastating. And it showed that no matter how much quality you have in attack, you need to be solid and mentally strong throughout the entire match.
So the question for 2026 is, can Brazil build a team that combines that trademark attacking flair with genuine defensive discipline? Because if they do, and I mean if they truly manage that, they become one of the most dangerous teams in the world.
I think they can. I genuinely do. The talent is there. The motivation is enormous. Brazil has not won a World Cup since 2002. That's over 2 decades of hurt. That kind of hunger can be a very powerful force.
It absolutely can, and that is why Brazil sit firmly in our top contenders list. But here's someone who never really gets talked about enough, and that's a mistake. James, who am I thinking of?
Spain?
Spain.
La Roja, the Red Ones. Spain's record in major tournaments is extraordinary. 3 consecutive major international trophies, the European Championship in 2008, the World Cup in 2010, and the European Championship again in 2012. That kind of dominance simply doesn't happen by accident.
And what makes Spain so fascinating as a team is their philosophy. It's not just about individual players. It's about a system, a way of playing that's deeply embedded in Spanish football culture. Possession, movement, pressing, creativity. These are the hallmarks of Spanish football at every level, from the youth academies all the way up to the senior national team.
And right now, that system is producing another golden generation. Players like Pedri, Gavi, and Lamine Yamal. These are young, incredibly gifted footballers who have already shown they can perform on the biggest stages.
Lamine Yamal in particular is someone who feels almost impossible to believe. Still so young, but already playing with the confidence and quality of a seasoned international. If he continues his development, and there is no reason to think he won't, he could be the defining player of this World Cup.
Spain's strength is their versatility. They can control the game through possession and wear teams down, or they can play with more directness and pace. They're difficult to prepare against because they adapt so well.
The weakness, and every team has one, is sometimes a lack of a truly dominant goal scorer. Spain's goals often come from their system rather than one lethal striker. That can occasionally make them a little predictable in front of the goal.
But their defensive record has been excellent. Hard to score against, disciplined, and they rarely lose their shape under pressure. Spain are absolutely a team that could go all the way in 2026.
And I want to point out, Spain recently won Euro 2024, so they come into the World Cup cycle as European champions. That is a huge psychological advantage.
Massive. Confidence matters enormously in tournament football, and Spain have plenty of it right now.
Okay, now we have to talk about England. And James, I know this is complicated for you.
It is always complicated with England, Lily. Always.
England's record in major tournaments is a source of great pain for English football fans. 1 World Cup title, 1966, at home. That's it. For nearly 60 years, the wait continues.
But here's the thing, and I mean this seriously. The current England squad is genuinely one of the best they've had in a generation. The quality is real. It's not just hype.
Jude Bellingham at Real Madrid, Phil Foden at Manchester City, Bukayo Saka at Arsenal, these are world-class players at the peak of their powers. England have attacking talent and technical quality that previous generations did not have.
And they've been getting closer. Semi-final at the 2018 World Cup, final at Euro 2020, lost on penalties, final at Euro 2024, lost again. The pain of reaching finals and not winning them is real, but reaching finals is not nothing.
That is true, and the important thing is building on those experiences, learning how to win the big moments. That mental strength, the ability to perform when everything is on the line, that is what England need to develop.
Their weakness has been inconsistency. They can be brilliant in one match and then oddly flat in the next. And in knockout football, you cannot afford to have an off day.
But the talent is there, the belief is growing, and the squad depth is improving. I would not be surprised to see England go very deep in 2026. Whether they can finally win it, that is the question that has haunted English football for decades.
Here's hoping, for my sanity if nothing else.
We cannot leave out two of the most storied nations in World Cup history, James. Germany and Argentina. Two giants. Where did they fit in the picture for 2026?
Let's start with Argentina because they come in as the reigning champions. They won the 2022 World Cup in Qatar in that extraordinary final against France, one of the greatest matches in football history. A 3-3 draw after extra time, settled on penalties. Lionel Messi finally got his World Cup winner's medal, and the whole world celebrated with him.
Even people who are not Argentine football fans celebrated that moment. It felt like justice, honestly. Messi, the greatest player of his generation, perhaps of all time, finally standing on top of the world.
The question for 2026 is what comes after Messi? He will be 38 by the time the tournament happens. He may still be involved, and knowing Messi, he will still be dangerous. But Argentina needs to think about life beyond their greatest ever player.
And that transition is already happening. There are young, hungry players in the Argentine squad who have been developing under this championship-winning culture. That winning mentality, knowing how it feels to be world champions, is invaluable.
Defending a World Cup title is one of the hardest things in football. No team has successfully defended since Brazil in 1958 and 1962. But Argentina will be a serious contender. Do not write them off.
Absolutely not. And Germany?
Germany are in a rebuilding phase. After some difficult tournaments and early exit in the 2018 group stage, a round of 16 exit in 2022, German football has been rethinking its approach. They are the host nation for Euro 2024 and showed some encouraging signs, reaching the quarterfinals.
German football has always been about efficiency, organization, and mentality. 4 World Cup titles. They know how to win. When Germany are at their best, they are a machine. Precise, relentless, and incredibly difficult to stop.
The current young generation, players like Florian Wirtz, who's absolutely electric, suggest that Germany could be building towards something special again. By 2026, if that young talent has fully matured and found its expression at international level, Germany could be very dangerous.
I would call them a genuine dark horse, not quite at the absolute top of the list, but absolutely capable of going all the way if everything clicks.
Now let's take a moment to talk about the teams that might not be in the very top tier favorites, but who absolutely have the ability to cause problems for everyone else. Morocco, for example.
Morocco in 2022 was one of the stories of the entire tournament. They became the first African nation to reach a World Cup semifinal. They beat Spain. They beat Portugal. They were organized, disciplined, passionate, and brilliantly managed.
And that experience, that belief, does not just disappear. Morocco will arrive at 2026 knowing they can compete with anyone. That is a dangerous team.
Portugal are another interesting case. By 2026, we'll likely be looking at Portuguese football in a post-Cristiano Ronaldo era, or at least an era where younger players are taking the lead. Bruno Fernandes, Rafael Leao, Bernardo Silva, these are genuinely world-class players.
And you cannot ignore the United States. As co-host of the tournament on home soil, with a young, developing squad and a passionate fan base behind them, the U.S. could be a real surprise package. Tournament football at home, with that energy, anything can happen.
Absolutely. And that's what makes the World Cup so special. On any given day in a knockout match, the gap between the top teams and the ambitious challengers can close very quickly.
All right, Lily, we've been through the contenders. We've talked about the talent, the strengths, the weaknesses, the history. Now comes the moment of truth. If you had to pick one winner of the 2026 World Cup right now, one team, who is it?
Right now, today, I'm going with Spain. They have the best blend of youth and experience. They have a clear philosophy, they're European champions, their best players are at wonderful ages for 2026, and they're just incredibly difficult to beat. I think Spain are the most complete team heading into this tournament.
That is a brilliant answer, and I respect it completely. But I'm going with France. Mbappé in the prime of his career, with the best squad depth in the world, hungry for redemption after 2022. I think France will be unstoppable when they're at their best. And at a World Cup, at their best, I believe they are the best team on the planet.
So we have Spain versus France as our top 2 picks. And honestly, if those 2 teams meet in the final of the 2026 World Cup, that would be absolutely spectacular.
One of the greatest finals in World Cup history. Let's hope for it.
But here's the truth, and this is what we love about football. No one really knows what will happen. That's the magic. The upsets, the dramatic moments, the goals that make history, the players who rise from nowhere to become legends. You can't script any of it.
Which is exactly why billions of people around the world will be watching. Every match, every goal, every moment, completely alive with possibility.
And that's what today's broadcast has been all about, understanding the teams, the players, the stories, and feeling that excitement build as the 2026 World Cup gets closer and closer.
We hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. We really hope you did. Please hit that like button. It helps more people find this channel, and it means the world to us.
Subscribe if you haven't already. We have so much more World Cup content coming. Team deep dives, player profiles, tactical breakdowns, all in clear, natural English that anyone can follow.
And leave us a comment below. Tell us who you think will win the 2026 World Cup. We love reading your predictions. Let's have the debate right there in the comment section.
From me, Lily.
And from me, James.
See you in the next one. Come on.